everyone. How was your week? Today we're going to finish this pillow, okay? Get yourself a little snack, something to drink, put on a podcast. This is going to take a while. I'm just going to put all my stuff out of the way because I need some room here. I was thinking about letting you see the natural state of my desk, but then it scared the heck out of me, so I figured you don't need to really see that and get scared too. So I did not have an 8-inch zipper, and so I went out and I got a 9-inch one. I have a ton of zippers that I get from the thrift store and that I harvest from things that are getting thrown out, that are no longer, that I'm not able to repair, but I didn't have any one that would fit here color-wise. And usually sometimes I don't really care about the color if it fits either, but I was figuring let's do this proper. So I went and I bought a zipper, a 9-inch one, and you can fix these to any length you want. It actually tells you back here how to do this. Here you go. When you buy a zipper, it tells you exactly how to shorten the zipper. The metal ones are a little harder. You can do it the same way. It's just harder to cut. You need pliers or something to get the metal teeth gone. But you can do it with metal zippers too, or I have done it with metal zippers too. Then you will need scissors or a rotary cutter. I have a rotary cutter. Mine is not the sharpest tool in the shed anymore, but I'm going to try and use it. A ruler to mark where you want to cut your quilt, and the backing. Whoop! Hey, no fighting, guys. I have chosen this as my backing for my little pillow. I think the little birds are so cute, and I don't know, I think it fits with the front. So this is going to be my backing. It needs to be the size of this. All right. Mine turned out to be about 8 inches by 8 1/4 after it's cut. I measured after it's cut. So right now it's a little bigger. So first things first, let's cut it. Let's put all this out of the way. And now let's cut this. So you would take your ruler and your cutting mat or whatever. You could put, if you don't have a cutting mat, you can just put like a cutting board under it from your kitchen. And what I do is I want these to be full diamonds still left. So I don't want to cut it like right here and then fold it under for the 1/4-inch seam allowance, because that would cut into these diamonds here as well. So what I do is I put my 1/4-inch measurement right on these tips of the diamonds and measure out a 1/4-inch from those tips. There we are, because we want a 1/4-inch seam allowance all the way down. So this is my 1/4-inch mark, and then we take a deep breath and we just cut it. You could make a line down if you don't have a rotary cutter and just cut it with scissors on the line, or you can do this. There we go. Here we are. See how there's a 1/4-inch now out from right here? And we do the same thing on the other side. 1/4-inch mark right there. Oop, there we go. And then we cut all the way. There we go. Another one. Same here. I'm going to measure a 1/4-inch from these points right there. Okay. Up. Okay. A little bit further up. Here we are. Oop, sorry, kitten. And you would obviously not cut it this way because you don't want to slip off and cut yourself. So make sure that you guys can see this. Oop. There we go. And the other side. Okay, this is all gone. There we are. All cut now. Okay. Now we need to cut the backing to the same size. Where did I put it? Right here. We need to cut the backing to the same size. You would measure it. I'm not, because I'm lazy. I'm just gonna do this. Yes, I want these birds. There we go. There we go. Here's where I want it. You could draw around this with a piece of, with a pencil or something, or you can just put your ruler on top. Make sure you don't cut any more of your quilted piece. Let me move this up a little. One. My cat, actually my son's cat, he loves paper, and we got a food order in, shipped, and he's just running through that paper. Okay, I'm gonna cut this side. Make sure you're careful with your rotary cutter. I have cut myself really bad with this thing, so let me grab the scissors really quickly to cut through here. There we go, one more, and we're ready to sew. Make sure both pieces of fabric are really flat when you cut this, so you don't get any buckles in or any, make one too small accidentally. So here we are, all cut. Now we're going to put, first off, find out what you want. Where's your top and where's your bottom? I think I'm going to want this on top and this on the bottom. And now we're going to put the zipper in. You can do this by machine, or you can do it by hand. You can finish the whole rest of the pillow by machine if you want to, which I might be doing because this is really a pain to sew through by hand, but I'll show you how to put the zipper in by hand. Okay, let me get that zipper out of here. Ugh. There we go. There's this little metal thing. There we go. So now you need to figure out how long you want your zipper. So I'm going to pop it right here. This is how long it needs to be. Where's my, here. So I like it to be a little shorter than, where's my small ruler? Here's my small ruler. I like it to be a little shorter than my actual pillow. So I'm going to measure. Here. Ooh, maybe I should not draw on my on my pillow. So here is where it needs to end. So I'm gonna make 2 lines, and I'm gonna stitch over this, holding my thread double, if I can find my thread. Here's my thread. Okay. Bloop. We need a needle. Threading this. Oh, come on. Oh no, I think it's been recording this entire time upside down. Let me fix that for you really quickly. I am so sorry. I'll be right back. Apparently it hasn't. Something just changed how my camera does the time recording. Anyway, so you take your thread double. Where's the end of my thread here? Take your thread double, make a knot in the end. Use good thread for this. Ugh. Okay, well, it knotted here for some reason. I guess we just use it like that. So here's where my zipper is supposed to end. So I'm just going to, really? Okay. Hold your thread double, like so. Make a knot. Now, here's where my zipper is supposed to, let me sit down. Oh, there we go. Right. And you just take a few stitches right across here, like so. Basically what you're doing is you're making another one of these so that your zipper won't just like fly off the end there, okay? So a few stitches will do. And you know, you can have your thread waxed. I didn't just now because I just want to show you and I don't want this to take forever, because my videos somehow always end up 40 minutes. I apologize for that. I'm trying to get better. Right. Tie off your end so that this won't come apart. There you go. Like so. Cut it off. And then you would cut your zipper back here, just like this. Ta-da! And now it fits just a little short of the ends. See? Like so. Now let me go grab my pins because I used them in the back earlier, so I need to go grab them. I forgot to bring them. Sorry about that. Right, so I bought these clips a while ago for actually bookbinding, and they are for sewing, but I bought them for bookbinding. But I have started to love them so much for sewing. They're just awesome. I love them. Best $5 I ever spent. So you can do this with regular sewing pins, obviously. So what you would do is you want to lay this. We have a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So I want to put my zipper just here, and I'm going to put it right side on right side, okay? I'm going to put it just underneath where those valleys are, just where these valleys end. That's where I'm going to put my zipper. And then you would pin it or clip it. And again, right side on right side, okay? There we go. And then you take your needle and thread and you sew that on. And if you do it right side on right side, in the end it will fold over and you won't see the seam that you made just now. Okay, so because it will fold over like this, and then you will have a clean line right there, okay? So you need to put it down this way onto your fabric. And then you do a back stitch. And make sure it's centered, obviously. Okay, and then you make a knot in your thread and you start doing a back stitch. Figure out, you know, a line to follow right here. And just go ahead and sew this on with a back stitch. If you wanted to, you could use your thread double here too. But, or if you don't, you know, if you think you're gonna have trouble sewing in a straight line before you pin it on, just get your ruler like so. Make a line down like so. Nobody will see this, but you can follow it, and then it's easier, you know, you have a straight line. Right, let's pin this again. Oh yeah, there's always something going on in my house. Usually it's the cats. So you would do a back stitch. You can't really see what I'm doing because, well, it's a white thread on, you know. Hell, I can barely see it. Right. And you just go all the way down the line with your back stitch. Like so. Take this out. I'm gonna go and sew this up really quickly and then I'll be right back. Right, here we are. So I did the other side too. Once you have the first side sewn on, you measure how much this sticks over, obviously, and then measure the same depth over here on the other side so that the two sides are even, and this will match again afterwards. And you sew the second side of the zipper into. If you want to do this by machine, I recommend a zipper foot. I don't have one, so it's always like a really big, you know, like maneuvering around and trying to get this as straight as possible. If you have a zipper foot, makes it so much easier. If you don't, I don't have one, that's why I like to put my zippers in by hand. That's really it. But I did it on the machine this time because this fabric is not a joy to hand sew on. So anyway, so when you're done, it should look like this. You press it, obviously, you press it really nicely, and it should look like this. And then you flip it around and do a top stitch right along here and along here to keep this down a little. Okay, I'm gonna go do the top stitch really quickly. I'm gonna do it on my machine, but I basically, what you would do is take a needle and thread that matches and just do a really neat running stitch. Make sure that the stitches are even. Okay, I'm just gonna do it on my machine because no. I'll be right back. Also, I forgot to say, I'm folding my raw edges under here because, you know, I don't want them to fray later on in the pillow when I wash it or anything. And we're going to do French seams probably on the outside. I'm not super certain. I might just do a facing with some ribbon on it. So how I do it on this side is basically you would cut what stands over on the diamonds here, and then I will fold this in like so instead of folding it under like this way. You could just fold it under like this way if you wanted to. I mean, it is easier. Pin it down and then just go along here and sew that under. I just don't like the raw edges right there because threads will always get caught in the zipper, and this fabric frays a lot. So if you don't have a fabric that frays, it's so much easier to finish this just straight up. Okay, I'll be right back. Right, so I did end up just folding it over. It's good enough. It's just the inside of a pillow. However, I have decided that I am going to make some French seams on my pillow. What you do now, after giving it another press, if you want to do the same as me, you would fold your pillow like this. Open this up so you can actually turn it right side out. You would fold it like this, and you would go all the way around. Okay, just sew all the way around here. Really, really, I am going to go really, really close to the edge. So my seam allowance is this much. I would, if you don't want to do the French seam, you would just go down right here, a 1/4 inch in, which makes it right down the line of your little triangle tips right here. Just a straight line down here and a straight line over there. And, you know, down here, a 1/4 inch in from each of the edges. If you want to do a French seam, you would go up 1/8 of an inch right here and here and down here, and sew these shut in. We're sewing this shut in the end. So this is what we're going to do now. I'm going to sew around here 1/8 of an inch in. Okay, I'll be back after I've done that. Quick add-on, if you do a French seam, instead of sewing it together right sides facing, you will have to sew it together wrong side facing first and then do the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, If you're not doing the French seam, you will sew it together right sides facing and just go all the way around. All right? And then your sewing machine does this. I had to fill my bobbin, and I don't know what happened, and now it's doing this. I mean, I got the machine used from somebody, and it's only doing like one stitch anyway, but now it's doing this. And so I am going to end up sewing this by hand, which is going to be so much fun with this fabric. But, you know, nothing for it, gotta do it. So what I'm gonna do is sew up 1/8 of an inch right here all the way around. Okay, all the way around. Then I will clip these corners, turn it inside out, and sew another seam. Okay, so I'm gonna start doing that, and I'll be back when I'm finished with this. Right, so all done. And see how this shreds. I mean, it's ridiculous. I gotta do something or else, you know, this whole pillow is gonna fall apart in a little bit. So that's why I'm doing the seam the way I do them. If you don't have fabric that shreds like this, by all means just do a regular seam. It's so much easier and so much faster. So now we are trimming this as close to our seam as we possibly dare. Clip the corners. Down here too. And you can make a line with a washable marker, a fabric marker, so that you know get the seam exactly where you want it. So now we have it here. Oh, we open this, turn it inside out. Where's my little... Oh, I have that back there too, because that's exactly where it needs to be, not where I'm actually working. All right, now we turn it inside out, like so. And see how nice this is. And now what we do, because we don't want the, you know, seam on the outside, we are going to give this a good press, and then we are going to sew along where our original seam allowance ends, like right here, a 1/4 inch, another 1/8 of an inch in, not a 1/4 inch. It's the original seam allowance was a 1/4 inch, but I'm gonna give this a press, and then I'm gonna sew up the rest, and I'll see you then, okay? In a little bit. Just give me a second. So I have marked where I'm going to sew around. Radish, say hello. Come on. Good girl. So I have marked where I'm going to go around now to encase basically that raw edge over there. Make sure when you press it that you press it all the way out, those seams, so that the raw edges are really all the way up against the edge, okay? And then basically you are encasing the raw edges, and then turn it inside out, put your pillow insert in, or just some stuffing if you like, and you have the pillow finished. So I'm gonna go sew around this really quickly, and I'll be back and show you what it looks like when it's done, okay? Definitely use good thread for this and a back stitch, okay? Because this is going to have a lot of strain on it, so you want this to be a secure seam and a really tough seam, and not getting, you know, ripped up on you. So good thread for this and a back stitch. If you do it by machine, obviously, you know, but if you do it by hand, definitely use a back stitch, okay? Obviously, you can reverse that when you make a French seam and sew it together wrong sides first, and then have this decorative edge right here on the outside. So you would have your pillow, and it would have this little like strip going all the way around. If you like, personally, I just don't want this on my pillow this time, so I am constructing it so that it has a straight edge on the outside. You could, instead of a French seam, you could bind it with a ribbon or something on the inside if you have fabric that frays. I'm going to cut these corners later on so that I can make nicer pointier edges on my pillow, but obviously you could, you know, or I mean, you can try to just, let me get my needle out of here. Anyway, you can do this on the outside, is the point. Okay, so that this little edge is on the outside, but then you would have to go further in because remember how we cut these? There is nothing here. So if you make it like this on the outside, you would have, does that even make sense? Probably not. Okay, here's what I was trying to say. If you made this decorative little edge outside, see how we cut these to have our seam allowance end right here, so there is no diamond right here. So if you made the decorative edge on the outside, you'd have it looking, you would have the seam going down here, and there's nothing there. So if you want to have this edge, this little piping looking edge outside, you would have to make sure that you sew it further in, all of it, okay? Or cut it a little differently. I hope that makes sense. Okay, I'll finish this and then I'll be right back. Right, so here we are. I have it all done. I cut my corners because it's a pillow. I want sharp corners on my pillow, and honestly, this little bit isn't going to bother me. It's inside of the pillow. I may whip stitch over it later if, you know, need be, but this is where it is. We're turning this inside out. Take a chopstick to point your corners. I actually do have a little sewing implement that a friend sent me that help you turn your corners really nicely. I have no clue where it is at the moment. I used it not here on my desk, and I'm paying for it now. So here's our little pillow, and I went over the little edges down here as well. I'm going to blind stitch them together when it's all turned inside out. So you turn it all inside out like so, and there is your little pillow. Here we go. Clean those edges up a little. There we go. Sometimes little threads can stick out off the sides. You just clean that up like so, and you just cut them off. Right, I'm gonna give this a good press and then finish the edges, and the corners down here, and I'll show you, okay? Right, so I finished these corners here with a blind stitch so that, you know, it fits right there and it's closed right there, and then I just stuffed it. I mean, you can sew an insert and put it in here and then, you know, stuff the insert and finish your pillow that way, but if you're like me and a little lazy, you just put the fiber fill in there. You can always take it out when you need to wash the pillowcase. I like my little pillows kind of chubby, so I stuff it a lot. Make sure you get stuffing all the way in the edges, in the corners. The problem if you just put fiber fill, it sometimes gets caught in your zipper, but chopsticks are really good for that. Just stuff all that stuffing right into those corners. Make sure that they're nice and filled. There we go. The bottom corners too, I like to just zip it up a little and then make sure that the stuffing goes into those corners. And then you close the zipper, and here you go. Pillow is done. If you have a pattern on your backing, make sure that it shows the right way when you put your zipper in, so you know you don't have the birds upside down and you know where the zipper ends up here. So there you have it. I like chubby little pillows just sitting around. If you don't want a pillow, I mean, you could use this as a little zipper pouch. You may have to reorient the backing then though, but it would make a cute little zipper pouch for, I don't know, putting your toiletries in when you travel or something. If you do use it as a pouch where you need to go in and out a lot, I probably would put a lining on this quilted part so that the quilt stitches are protected and nothing gets stuck in there and rips out your quilting. And I probably would also either use a herringbone or a cross stitch to tie this down, because you're going in and out a lot. So I would probably put the edge of the zipper down with, you know, a stitch on the inside that you won't see on the outside, and that just keeps the zipper from catching things like that. But for a little pillow, you know, there it is. I kind of really love it, and I'm glad that I've done it and that we did this together. Again, thanks everybody for following. I also poked myself hand stitching and didn't notice it. So first things first is this is going in the wash. But once you wash it, the quilt stitches are going to come out really nicely too, because it sort of, you know, does things to the fabric and makes it really cool. So anyway, here's your little pillow. You could maybe put some lavender in it and put it on your bed, and you know, it's gonna be like all nice and smell nice for relaxing evenings. But there you have your little pillow. Yay! Can't wait to see all of yours. Please show them to me. I would love, love, love to see them, okay? See you later. Bye-bye.